Have you ever had a conversation where you feel like it is getting a little out of hand, that you may are saying phrases that are not exactly ideal, and you're starting to realize that the conversation is not as well received as you intended? Let's face it, we've all been there, right? You're talking to a colleague, a friend, or a family member, or even your spouse, and suddenly things take turn for the worse. Your words aren't coming out right, the emotions are running high, and you can feel the tension rising. But what if I told you that there is a simple, very practical exercise that you can do to reset the conversation, to salvage the relationship? Let's dive into it. So, first, use the magic phrase, can we start over? I didn't like how I was talking to you just now. Can we reset? That is all you have to say initially, right? Or you can just say hi, and say the name of the person in front of you and acknowledge their presence. Because sometimes when we are really running high on our emotions, we are creating a mess in the conversation. We are forgetting that there's a real human being in front of us, right? You're in your head, you're forgetting. So just the simple fact of acknowledging their name, say you're there, I can see you, itself can be like really positive, it's going to help you positively to reset this conversation, right? Then you can say, I really did not like the way I represented myself before. I did not like the words, the tone, the energy. I did not like any of that. Can we please start over? So this may seem super silly, and almost kind of stupid simple, right? Because we are not taught how to navigate conversations. We are not taught how to manage relationships, right? Yeah, in school we are taught about everything, right, from maths to science to history to all the amazing subjects out there, but we have not been taught how to relate to one another, right? So we're just pushed out of school or college and we almost have to learn this on the go, right? So initially, this may seem like super awkward, super silly. Why is that? Because we have not been taught. So imagine you want to master a skill, or you say you want to become really great in maths, or you want to be a great pianist. You would have to do the exercises, right? So similarly, this is that exercise to help you be more aware of your emotions and navigate difficult conversations better. So just go with it. Imagine, sorry, if you are feeling that it is awkward and silly, that is just the beginning because you have never been here, right? We have never been taught this, right? So get past that, right? And imagine, like, another reason that you can get past that is if you focus on how important is the person in front of you, right? Or how important is this conversation? If you put the why in front of that, right, in front of why you should be doing this exercise, then you will definitely give it a try, right? So, other than the obvious reasons of why you should be doing this, let me share with you a few more other key points that would push you to get this going, right? Because let's face it, right, we are human beings with all the knowledge in the world, right? For example, say we all know how to gain a healthy weight, right? We've got all the information out there, but we don't do it, right? Why is that? Because we don't have a strong enough why behind it. So similarly, I'm going to share, a few strong enough whys to push you and try this exercise for yourself. So let's dive in. Number one, it's going to show that you are a person who is self aware, right? They know that you are able to navigate strong emotions, right? You may experience strong emotions, but you know how to navigate them. Because let's face it, yeah, experiencing strong emotions is not the problem. That happens to everyone. But having the emotional intelligence to navigate it is key. So they know that you are a person who can handle it, right? That you're not this completely emotional or irrational mess. You take control and you are able to navigate emotions and you're in control and aware of the current situation as well, right? And that brings me to point number two. It shows that they can trust you and they will respect you, right? Imagine being in a relationship with someone who is self aware, who is able to navigate their emotions, right? And this is also really great, for example, in a work environment, right? They would respect you more because they see that you're a mature person, that you have emotional intelligence, that we can do collaborate with you, that you are able to receive criticism, right? And they also know that if they need to reset, that they are given that grace as well, because sometimes when we are having a conversation, we forget you forget that they're humans, and you're always like debating, you're coming up with facts and figures, just throwing at each other. But instead, if you know that, okay, this person is also taking a break, that means that I am also allowed, if I do, experience strong emotions, or if I am saying something that I don't think represents who I am, I get to show grace and reset as well. So imagine being in such a conversation, imagine being in such a relationship, right? That builds trust. And finally, it promotes a growth mindset within you. Because when you are doing this, you are guiding yourself to be better, constant evaluating rather than shaming yourself. This promotes a growth mindset. Because let's face it, usually, if we experience a difficult conversation, we go back home and replay the conversation and shame ourselves. Why did you say that? Why were you running high on emotion? That was totally unnecessary. So, all those thoughts are going to hit your self-esteem, right? You're not going to be confident, and what that causes is the next time you are going to have a conversation, you have all that baggage with you at the back of your mind. So the chances of you having a positive conversation is very slim, because you are already anxious, and we know when we are anxious, we're not going to say the right things. Instead, if we are constantly evaluating and doing this exercise and promoting a growth mindset, and you go to the table with that level of mindset, you're able to handle the conversation, and you also know you're confident enough, even if a strong emotion comes up, or even if the other person says something, you are in a place that you are able to handle it. And you also know that you have this amazing tool to reset it if you need, right? So imagine being in that level of a mindset. So now that I shared with you all of this, how exactly are we going to apply this? So there are 5 simple steps, right? You have to recognize the moment. So I know when I say this, most of the time people ask me, how am I supposed to recognize when it is extremely heaty and you're really in it? My number one suggestion is that when you are practicing this on a regular basis, it comes to you naturally. So let it just practice it, and it will flow eventually, right? But initially, you will have to put a little more effort than needed, but stick with it and it's going to come naturally. But on a side note, say if you are practicing yoga on the regular basis, you are praying, or practicing in your spirituality, whatever that may be, you're meditating, you're doing journaling, you are really skilled and able to really pinpoint that moment very fast before it gets worse, right? So that's just a side note, and also a little bit of motivation to jump on the mat and do the meditation and all of that, right? I just had to say that. So first of all, recognize the moment. Then you're going to use that phrase, can we reset it? I am sorry, I am not happy the way I was talking to you. I am not happy about my tone, my energy that I brought to the table. Can we reset? Right? Number three, take a breath. Take actually few breaths. The reason for this is, a lot of the times when people say, okay, I'm sorry I said this, they think they should be able to come up with a better conversation on the spot. But trust me, it is not easy to come up with a better tone, a better energy on the spot if you are experiencing strong emotions, right? So when you are doing a few deep breaths, you can tell the other person to do the same, but that's up to them, right? We're all about improving ourselves. So when you are taking a breath, when you are taking a few breaths, what it does is it relaxes your body, right? Because before that, it was producing chemicals to a level where, as if you were in combat, or you're in a fight and flight situation. But the actual situation, sorry, is that you're not. but the body does not know the difference, right? So it's thinking you're in a combat situation, combat, like someone's trying to fight you, or you're in the forest and an animal is going to attack you. You're in that level of emotion high situation. So the body is producing all these chemicals to get you ready. So when you are taking a breath, when you're taking a few breaths, it's going to relax you and calm you and say, no, we are okay. We don't need that level of chemicals pumped into our system. We are okay, right? Then you're also able to think clearly, right? And even after the deep breath, say you are anxious and you're not sure what you want to say, you can give them, the other party, the reins. You can say, okay, can you take a lead? Can you start over? And then I will join in. And that also shows maturity, right? So you get to you get to listen actively, right? That's the next step. So you have to be very like present in the moment rather than seeing what point you're going to throw at them. Now you're coming at a different level, right? A conversation should be almost like a dance. It's not like a debate, right? So when you listen actively, you're able to give a better response as well. And then the last step is move forward, right? So the next time another conversation comes, now you know, rinse and repeat, right? Now that you have this knowledge, put it to practice, right? If you don't practice what you learn, you're not going to really master it. So don't wait for the next difficult conversation, but try it in the next conversation. So it can be just a simple conversation between you and a family member or a friend. Just test it out and see, okay, you know what, I want to reset. See how that feels, because initially it's going to sound awkward, it's going to sound silly, right? But if you're not comfortable using it, you're not, in a simple conversation, you're not going to apply it when it's really, the tensions are high. So my suggestion is, try it in a simple conversation. Just see, like, use it in a very jovial way, like, okay, I'm sorry, I got to, I didn't like that tone, I just want to rewind, can we do that? Okay, let's take a breath and let's go. Take two. Make it like fun, because life should not be about, it's really not that serious. Like, if we make it fun, you're able to get through it. Right? That's how I get through things. So don't make things too serious, and then it actually kind of breaks the ice anyway with the other person. So make it kind of fun. Right? And try it and let me know how you go, and share your experiences below. And I hope you found this valuable, right? And I would absolutely love to connect with you on social. So all my links are down below, and it all has the details of my workshops, upcoming workshops, free resources, how to join the community, retreats, etc. So I will see you in the next video. Bye for now.